Good morning. Welcome to the Bat X Release Show on Covers. Thanks for joining us here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Josh Ingalls. He's Derek Carty. These are his numbers. These are his picks. Good morning, DC. How is the Wednesday slate treating you? And it's weird that we only have one afternoon game after. We haven't seen afternoon games all week.
Yeah, normally we get some on Wednesday. We get a little bit of profit before dinner time. But today, one game. So it is what it is. But we're coming off another good day. We're just going to keep the train rolling. It's kind of a gross market for pitching props today, but there's quite a few on the hitting side that look good.
Plus 0.8 units yesterday, including the social plays, 35.25 for over 12 units this month. 11.49% ROI on the season. And like Derek said, we just keep going. So let's get to the release procedure before these numbers move. I'll tell you what book has the best price. Hopefully some secondary books. If I don't say a secondary book, it's probably more book specific. And when I say a secondary book, I'm talking about 15 points of difference. After that, we'll tell you the game we're betting on. Give you some time, find that. We'll tell you the prop market we're betting. Give you some time again. Then we'll tell you the team the player is on, who the player is, and then the bet over under, making sure everybody can get that number, because if you follow the show, you know the absolute influence that Derek's numbers have on this market. We've changed the time. What was our first time? Our first time was what, like 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're 9:15. This is value time. Let's get it. A monster show today. Let's get right to it. Everybody there in the chat, your job, as always, let us know where you get your number. Not everybody has access to all the same books. Let us know if it's moving and help us out. Hit that like, subscribe button. As always, let's get right to it. Starting with release number 1. As producer Mick teased us a little bit there, we are at FanDuel. Not a ton of secondary books. If you have maybe 365, open it up, wait for confirmation after we release this to see where the projection is. The game in question, maybe a little bit of winning before dinner here. Minnesota at Atlanta, the early game today. The prop market we're looking at, pitcher strikeouts. Yes, such well-dressed guys. I had to up my collar game. And I see Derek's face.
We lost it by a lot. It's completely gone now. It was there like 10 minutes ago. It's been hanging there all morning. And most of the other books are just not even close. This was kind of a book-specific one where a couple other books had moved off like a half hour ago. This was going to be Colby Allard's over at like, what do we have it? Plus 114. It opened at plus
365 opened at plus 120.
Yeah, it's just been moving down all day at even money or negative money. Like it's not a play anymore. He's going to be on a pitch count, so it was kind of a weird one to like an over on to begin with. So if you have to pay minus 110 or minus 120, or I've seen close to minus 140 at some books, it's just not a play there.
If it does make you feel any better right now, Derek, Pinnacle's at minus 173 for the over 3.5.
Gosh, it's just been crushing in that direction. I can't do it.
So I'm looking at FanDuel minus 106, Unibet minus 104. The Canby books obviously minus 104. DraftKings minus 115. I know that's not as much value, but if you guys are looking at it compared to the market of Pinnacle, it is still 70.
Yeah, it is still really good compared to the market. He'll probably be limited to about 80 pitches, but it's a pretty good matchup. And obviously the market is just like out of control. God, could you imagine if we got plus 114 10 minutes ago and Pinnacle's at minus 170 or whatever you just said? That's crazy.
Yeah. What did we see? Plus 135 last night, got 120 this AM.
Yeah. If you got anything like that, you are very, very happy right now.
But there is some variance in the unknown with the lefty Allard too, right? Like you said, pitch count, afternoon start. I mean, I think he only went like 2 innings in his last AAA start. didn't get that long.
Yeah, he
So there
went.
are some worries, but 3.5 is certainly a small number versus the highest K percentage team in all of baseball.
Yeah, he's only pitched twice so far this year. He pitched 45 pitches and then 62. So we are really looking at a hard cap on him at probably around 80. Usually we're looking at undervalue on these guys, but today it's showing over. It's just with the market moving so hard, I just don't think I can do it.
Okay. Yep. So you guys might have to pivot on that. Feel free to, the value's on the over with Pinnacle at -173. We're not going to call it a play, but there's certainly some value at there, especially if we got the +135 or the +120. So let's keep moving before we lose anything else. Release number 2, we are at Bet365. The game in question, Cleveland at KC. Head over that way. Secondary books, I think, are about 15 to 20 points off, but pretty widely available at that 15-point discrepancy. Player hits is the market we're looking at today here. And our number is there. Thank God. Let's go for release number 1. KC's Dairon Blanco under 0.5 hits +200. Blanco under 0.5 hits +200. Those secondary books probably about +175 around that. Facing a lefty in Allen, hitting a $167 versus Southpaws. 9 starts, 37 total PAs this year. 200's a pretty big number. Usually something we see for, I don't know, guys like Solano who have been hitting at the top of the order. That's kind of where you're looking at. But this is not a great hitter. And this is just a big price.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. His pinch hit risk is there, but it's not big. It's 13%. There's a pretty good pitcher's umpire in this one. Really, it's just kind of about the price. He's not a good hitter, and +200 is a good number.
Yeah, as we bet more of these player under hits, you start to see where the numbers are. We saw Esty Ruiz +215 yesterday, and that was because projected plate appearances because he was hitting at the top of the order. But if you saw Derek's numbers, he was projected to go back to the bottom of the order, which he did. And we saw a +215 go to a +130, the difference between hitting first and hitting last in the order. And as Derek said off screen before, they're probably not even putting in pinch hit risk into that equation. So the value that they have between hitting in the order is massive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's hit Blanco under 0.5 hits +200. Happy to get that number even with a full array. I would assume that the projected plate appearance is somewhere around 4.
I think we're probably we're at 3.5, 3.48.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Even better. Let's go. Starting with release 3. Let's stay at 365. Let's get some of that 4 o'clock afternoon action. Afternoon game on the West Coast, Washington at Seattle. Always nice to see that, Derek. Thanks to my subscription to the bat, I got Allard pick in at plus money. And that's the difference between betting on your own and doing a show like this. You're not time constrained.
Yeah, we're restricted to what plays are available at 9:15. And, there's usually good stuff. But if you're getting up or even earlier than that, you're definitely going to find value.
Let's keep the hits rolling. Prop market player hits. Lovely, still there. Let's get this in. For our next release, Seattle's Tom Murphy under 0.5 hits plus 170. Tom Murphy under 0.5 hits plus 170. Always have to do a quick RotoWire search to see who some of these guys are, who are in the hitting, who were fading to hit. Most of the market here about plus 140, plus 150. That's why we didn't give out any secondary books. 365 is usually a little slow to move these. Nice to see reverse split guy who struggles to hit left-handed pitching. Facing Patrick Corbin obviously isn't the best, but a bottom of the order hitter, catcher speed, and subbed out in 6 of his last 16 starts. There's a lot to like in this at plus 170, and that 170 will probably likely dip down to the rest of the market. What are your projections here, Derek?
Yeah, projection is 36% pinch hit risk, an average of 0.74 hits, projects to win about 47% of the time. So 47% at plus 170 is really, really nice. Yeah, he's facing Patrick Corbin, but he's also, I mean, Tom Murphy as a hitter, his profile is high strikeout, high power. He's not going to hit for a high average. He's like a 215, 220 hitter going forward. And he gets pinch hit for. So this is a good spot for him.
Okay, so let's add that to the under hit bank as I'm trying to see where the rest of the market is right now on that. Yeah, so I'm seeing some 35s. Can be books at 150 is probably the next best option. Patano plus 160.
Yeah. There were quite a few like plus 160s, plus 150, plus 155 earlier. Most of those are gone now.
Yeah. So that one's dipping down. And like I said, Bet365 usually the best place, the best book for it. Hey, there's our lovely Hard Rock notification.
Love it.
Good old Hard Rock. All right, let's keep the train rolling here. Next release, back to 365. A better widely available number, a widely available number. DK MGM also has this in the same price range. Game in question, Guardians at Royals.
American Betway too, I think, has this same line.
Player prop market, we're looking at player hits again. As Derek did allude at the top of the show that the pitching market not showing a ton of value, a little yucky today. But those hits are showing value.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's keep the release train going. For our next release, Cleveland catcher Cam Gallagher under 0.5 hits plus 145. Gallagher under 0.5 hits plus 145. Seeing some DraftKings, I think plus 125 right now. I'm seeing B-Win plus 140 might be your best next shot. The Score plus 135, Bet99 plus 139. Catcher speed, check. 138 versus righties, check. 154 versus lefties, check. Facing a left-handed pitcher in Cox, who is basically an opener, so pinch hit risk is likely, even though the matchup he just stinks either way versus righties versus lefties. But that could even work in our favor, because whether they bring in a lefty or bring in a righty out of the pen, they could go to they could go to the bench. But Cam Gallagher right now and the Cleveland catching situation is a thing to fade on the hit market.
Yeah, Cam Gallagher, very similar to Tom Murphy, but without the power. He's a guy who's going to strike out. He projects for a very low batting average. If you look on his FanGraphs page, the range of his batting averages between all the different projection systems range from the bat is highest at Steamer's the highest at 211 and Zips is lowest at 192. So like he's not going to hit for a high average. He has a high pinch hit risk. It's 35%. And like you said, he's facing this pitcher in Cox that, he's going to go 50, 60, 70 pitches maybe. So anytime you have a pinch hit risk guy against a pitcher who's not going to go deep, it basically just, exacerbates it. So this is a really good spot. Murphy projects for Gallagher projects for 3.18 plate appearances. Ooh. So, if we're lucky, we're going to get 3. There's a chance we get 2, and then he's done. And he's not good anyway.
Yeah. Just the whole catching situation. The other catcher we were talking about there, Bo Naylor, doesn't even have any props open. Both guys, they said, Mike Zunino, you're out. Let's roll with Gallagher and Naylor as our backstop. So something to look ahead and maybe something to fade day to day if we keep getting these numbers. And as Derek pointed out, I think this is probably one of the best edges if you're looking at these under hits and trying to project pinch hit risk. It's guys like Cox who are 50 pitches and then the parade of relievers where the opposing team can play the matchup game. That's where you're going to see the most pinch hits. That's where you can see guys get 2 at-bats. And that's the gold mine when you're looking at these props. Let's roll 3-6-5. Jonathan Lerner's talking about he got the spinning wheel of death. Adjusted line, confirmed it without approval. Now OTB at Betway. Books are saying, why is there so much action right now on Cam Gallagher?
Cam Gallagher, who's that?
Yeah, exactly. We're at Bet365. So secondary books do include PointsBet and DK. About 15 points off marker from where we're at now. The game in question, San Diego at Pittsburgh. Padres in disarray. The prop market we're going to might be a bat first, Derek.
I don't think we've ever done one of these before, but it is showing monster value.
Prop market we're looking at, RBIs, runs batted in. Oh, producer Mick put an S on the end of RBIs. Oh, I'm joking, Mick. I'm joking. It's just such a pretentious conversation in the baseball circle. Oh, he's so good. We love you, Mick. It's such a pretentious argument in the baseball world that you shouldn't put an S on RBIs.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with an S on RBIs.
I don't have a problem with it either. I think it's such a dumb hill to fight on. Let's go.
Bottom.
Make sure our number is still there. Yes, sir. All right, for our next release, let's go Pittsburgh's Jack Suwinski over 0.5 RBIs plus 320. Suwinski over 0.5 RBIs plus 320. Let us know if you're getting it at a different book at PointsBet or DK. I mean, plus 320. He's projected to hit between 3 and 6. So batting opportunity is massive. We see when Trout goes to the number 2 hole, he's about plus 200 to get an RBI. Same with Buxton when he hits in the 2 hole. But as you go further down that lineup between 3 and 6, obviously the opportunity to knock in a run is huge. You add in a guy like Snell who can walk 4 guys, doesn't have to give up hits to get some opportunities there. Plus 1,400 in the milestone market, over 1.5 RBIs for Suwinski. I know your numbers project him well, even in the hit markets. What's the secret sauce with Suwinski today, Derek?
I'm having a hard because the bat likes him in just about every market today, and it likes RBIs the most. I'm having trouble figuring it out. I mean, he's facing a good pitcher in Yu Darvish, sure. But this doesn't mesh, even with what he's done this year. Like this year, he's had an RBI in about a third of his games. The bat's projecting a 36% chance of it here. And it's showing massive value at that. Like, I don't quite get it. The only thing I can find that maybe explains it, but it kind of goes against our whole theory, is that over the last few games, he has been pinch hit for in 2 of them. Since they called up, what's the prospect's name? I'm blanking on it. It's kind of like a generic sounding name. Since they called that prospect up, he's been pinch hit for twice. But also Brian Reynolds is on the IL now. So like he's basically just replacing Reynolds. It's not like they should be switching Suwinski's role because of this prospect. So like I don't know. For me, I mean the bat is projecting what's the number here? 0.61 RBIs on average here. The implied projection here is 0.32. It's basically double. It's only going to win about a third of the time, but we're getting plus 320 on it. So I'm taking this and, hoping that they're not just going to start pinch hitting Suwinski now. But it doesn't even make sense because like the books don't account for pinch hit risk that well anyway. So I don't know what this is. I don't know. It's showing huge value. I'm taking it.
Okay, RBI plus 320. Now, DK has Snell starting.
Well, that could be part of it then. Well, we'll take a look then. He might not even start then if it's a lefty. So it might just be No, I think the bat hasn't projected against Snell. Maybe I just saw Darvish this morning and was thinking that. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, it's
Plus
good value.
320, market's moving. Everyone's saying shut down immediately. Plus 290 points bet. 300 DK changed to 285 as I was placing it. Hopefully everybody got those in. Mike Poole, thank you. Ours BI, that's the correct terminology. I mean, plus 320, don't have to lob a full unit on it, obviously, but I mean, plus 320.
Yeah, Darvish was supposed to go last night, and then he got scratched. And then I thought I saw that he was supposed to go today, but I guess he can't go today either. So that would explain some things.
Darvish pushed. Thank you, Mr. Brennan. Darvish was last night, I think. Yeah, the scratch, but there was a possibility of him just skipping a day in the rotation. So, I mean, it's lefty versus lefty. You talked about it. He might not get the start. If he does, I mean, we're on the right side of the market.
Yeah.
So
I think it's more likely than not this one gets voided. I don't think he's going to start if it's a lefty, but you know, it can't hurt to hit it anyway.
At plus 320, sure. Let's get it middle of the order hitter. Starting with our next release at MGM. You got to be quick. Secondary books include Caesar, B-Win, Patano, Betway. Game in question, White Sox at the Halos. Let's get to the pitcher props here. Let's go pitcher outs. And let's set our watch to this. Let's go. Next release, Lucas Giolito under 17.5 outs plus 130. Under 17.5 outs plus 130. This is gone at MGM in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't make me look stupid, MGM. No. It's so funny. Like, I'm angry that it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. The whole market disappeared because
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Caesars has a number. Giolito's a funny one, right? Like he's really a true 3-pitch outcome pitcher. Lots of strikes, lots of walks, can give up those home runs, but I mean, it just drives up that pitch count. Under 18 outs in 3 of his last 6 starts, which includes a game versus LA. And if you watch a show, Derek always says that the second time a team sees a pitcher in a relative short amount of time, the edge does go to the hitters. Decent hitting weather at Angel Stadium. I think you've mentioned it quite a bit, Derek, that it's not really accounted for how well of a hitter park that Angel Stadium is playing. 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 72 degrees, decent humidity. What are the projections here?
Projection here is 16.2 outs. So it's not massive. This projects to win about 60% of the time, but 60% at plus 130 is still good. Giolito, like you said, gives up a lot of fly balls, a lot of home runs, and Angel Stadium is sneakily one of the best power parks in baseball. And the Angels lineup is good. They traded for Eduardo Escobar recently, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but this was a super front-loaded offense. Ohtani, Trout, Ward, Renfroe, whatever, and then like the back 3 or 4 was always like terrible. Even just adding like an average hitter like Escobar does make a big difference in this lineup, and this is a tough lineup to get through.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see updates on Ohtani. I know he did his 2 home runs and 10 Ks last night. Hopefully he's good to go today. But like you said, that would obviously help. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this market, if he's out, you might be able to get this number still at that same point. Maybe, I don't know, the projections change slightly, but I mean, plus 130 for Lucas Giolito, who can run up that pitch count significantly, is certainly worth the dime. And was one of the first things I saw when I woke up this morning and hit pitcher out markets. I mean, that's where we are today. Heavy on the hitter unders, which have been doing well recently. A lot of them have been on social releases, but today we're going to them on the release show. Started off with Colby Allard. Oh, we missed Allard on the over 3.5 Ks. That was at plus 114. Maybe missed that number, but I I mean, Pinnacle, what did we say Pinnacle was? Minus 179. So there
Yeah.
is some value certainly there, but there is some risk involved with the first start from Allard on a hard pitch count. Then a Daron Blanco under 0.5 hits, got that at 200. Then we went Tom Murphy under 0.5 hits, plus 170. Cam Gallagher under 0.5 hits, plus 140. If you're just tuning in, this is a baseball show. If you don't know who any of those players are. The next one, we went Jack Sawinski over 0.5 RBIs, plus 320. We saw that move. Might be a little different projections versus Snell, but he might get voided because of lefty on lefty. And then Lucas Giolito under 17.5 outs, plus 130, projecting for just over 16. So probably a good play up to the other numbers we saw people post at Bet365 about plus 120. That's probably where the threshold is on about 1.5 outs of value. That will do it for us here on Wednesday. This is Covers. This is the Bad X Release Show here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:15 a.m. Free releases. All we ask is you hit that like and subscribe button. It's been a great run. Let's keep cashing. I'm out for Friday, Canada Day weekend. I'm out of here. Taco will jump in. Hopefully some more winning goes on. Follow the Covers Twitter account today. Hopefully some more social plays come out. And as I said, the social plays, when Derek sends them over, have some of the most projected plus EV because of their less time constraint, and we can just get them out, and they're usually lineup related, which is a huge bonus. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. These are his numbers. These are his plays. This is his Bad X Release Show on Covers. We'll see you back here Friday, 9:15 a.m.